The national media is finally giving the Chicago Bears some respect. But are they getting it right? One Bear has already been revealed on the top 100 list by the NFL. CBS Sports has released its top 100 players list, and ESPN's Bill Barnwell has ranked every NFL team's offensive weapons. Today, we're breaking down which Bears made the CBS Top 100, predicting how many Bears will ultimately land on the NFL Top 100 list, and seeing exactly where Bill Barnwell ranks the Bears' skill position group compared to the rest of the league and the NFC North. Are the Bears finally among the NFL's elite offenses, or is this hype getting out of hand? Plus, we're going to announce the winner of our Tally Brand giveaway. So stick around. You might be hearing your name. Huddle up with us. I'm Rob Shores with Bear Goggles On. Tonight with me is Justin Oniemi, Bob Weiss. This is the Halas Huddle, where every Bear is in the top 100 until proven otherwise.
That's right. Welcome into another episode of the Halas Huddle. We're excited to sit here and talk about football. Please like this video. Comment below. Why don't you comment who you think is going to be named next on the NFL Top 100 list? We'd love to hear who you think is deserving of that credit. And if you're not yet, please subscribe. We just got to 2,000 subscribers, a milestone we're very proud to get to. We can't wait to get to our next one.
Rob, you said every Bear could be in the top 100 at this point. So I'm in the comment section. I'm putting Ruben Hippolyte.
He's not on the actual team yet. He's not making the roster, guys.
Is he a top 100 Bear? Did you say? Rosters are 90. All right.
I guess in that sense, he's not making the top 50 though. Top 53.
There you go. All right, Rob. Rob, so tell us about the CBS Top 100. That we know the entirety of the list.
Yeah, so obviously the NFL 100 is being released as we speak. CBS came out with this, I don't know, a week ago with their top 100 list. And the Chicago Bears have 3 guys on the list. Three deserving players, I would say. And what's shocking is that the guy who's named on the NFL Top 100 list is not one of them. We'll get to that later. But no one in the top 50. Is that a slight? I don't know. I'll just list them. Okay, so obviously, well, maybe we don't know who number 1 is if you haven't seen the list yet. But the top player for the Chicago Bears is, in my opinion, I think everyone agrees, going to be he's a future Hall of Famer. The guy is just absolutely elite, and that is Joe Thuney, right? Joe Thuney came in at exactly number 55. Lance Briggs' number right there. So he is number 55. Next on the list, though, Caleb Williams. I think he's very deserving of that status. He came in at 70. And then just snuck in there at number 100 is rookie sensation Colston Loveland. Bob, what do you think? Do you think that those guys are fair to be on this list? Do you think it's a little too soon for Loveland? Do you think I don't know.
I think it's great. It's nice to see the trade that they made for Thuney. Like, we knew that we're getting an all-pro. We knew we were getting a stud, and it's great to see that and live up to that already in the first year. 55 seems maybe a little low, but I guess I didn't do the full research to see where he is in terms of all offensive linemen. You got to assume probably there's some stud tackles ahead of him, but absolute stud. Caleb Williams at 70, like, I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but seems a little high. Like, that's fine for me. I just want him to do more, right? I'm waiting for him to do more. And then I think he can easily be top 10 on this list next year, right? But it's just 70 right now seems a little high. And then Colston Loveland at 100, it's just, you don't know what the league thinks of him yet. We saw him play, game in and game out all season, grow into a number 1 option in a very good offense. So I think that this is probably the right spot for him, the back end of this list, and I'm happy to get some recognition here for him.
So, Bob, I just was doing research in the moment here. What quarterback do you think Caleb Williams was? And then when you hear that number, I wonder if you'll think he was too high or too low.
Was he 12?
He was 12.
Oh,
very good. But number 69 on the list was Jaden Daniels. So,
okay.
I mean, I think you could argue he should have been further up on the list. And you said maybe he could be further back. So maybe he's appropriately ranked. What I like is what you said about Loveland getting that recognition. But I just want to see at the end of the season, and you vote again, I think the Bears, could have more than 3 players, and Caleb could be a lot higher, Loveland could be a lot higher, and that's the thing that excites me. This is still like recognition for what they've done, but the arrow is certainly pointing up for these guys. I mean, Tooney, he's rock solid, like you said, Rob, future Hall of Famer. So at some point, you wonder where the play levels out, but I don't think it showed last year at all. He was voted the protector of the year. So
I just looked, and I'm actually very pissed off now about the Joe Tooney spot. Like, he should be much higher on this list. He is 12th. And not only is he 12th
offensive lineman,
he is not the top guard, which I'm okay with. Like, Quentin Nelson is ahead of him, and there's a couple other, I think one other guy. There's some centers that are ranked much higher than him. And I have a problem with that. Like, look, I get Creed Humphreys on here. Like, okay, he's deservedly so. But, like, the center, Aaron Brewer for the Miami Dolphins, like, I'm sorry. No, Joe Tooney not only was dominant at the guard spot, also had to fill in at the tackle position. Tooney should be higher on this list. He should be top 50. I'm fucking pissed. Now I'm mad. I didn't know it until I read this. You got me going, Bob. It's on.
I do what I can for the people. The people love it, Rob.
Rob's rant.
I'm not mad about the Caleb Williams one at all. Like, 12 is fine. And by the way, we're going to talk about the NFC North teams real quick, but Jordan Love is 51. So they're about neck and neck.
70 to 51?
Oh, yeah. I was thinking 55 in my head. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, like I said, let's do it at the end of the season.
That's a weird one, too. I just think Jordan Love is continuously just overrated. I mean, I think that he's a good quarterback. I'm not saying Jordan Love sucks, but who is taking Jordan Love to be their quarterback right now over Caleb Williams? Like, I just – whatever. I think Jordan Love is much closer to 15th to 18th quarterback in the league than he is top 10.
The center for the Broncos is at 42.
Rob.
Philadelphia has both of their offensive tackles ahead of him.
Let's talk about the division, like you said. I think it comes as no surprise, at least not to me, and I don't think either of you guys, that the leading team in the NFC North with number of players in the top 100 was Detroit. They have 6 players in the top 100. Quickly, number 6, number 14, 21, 46, 57, 86. So before you even get to the first Bear, they've already had 4. And it's deservedly so. So, Bob, you want to quickly talk about Detroit? Because I know you respect the division a lot.
Yeah, you gotta love. I mean, Ben Johnson said it when he came over last year about how much he wants to be in this division because he wants to compete week in and week out. I mean, Detroit is just loaded with talent, especially offensive talent. They do have Aiden Hutchinson high up there. Jack Campbell snuck in on the list. It's nice to see a middle linebacker in there. But I will just focus on Jared Goff being on this list at 57. So that's the second quarterback in the NFC North listed ahead of Caleb Williams. So even though I said I think Caleb Williams might have listed it a little too high, I just, I think that just goes to prove what I'm saying is that Caleb Williams still has a lot left to prove. I think we all expect Caleb Williams to be better than Jared Goff. Nothing against Jared Goff's accomplishments the last few years, and Jordan Love, and this list just kind of proves it.
Rob, you got it on the Lions?
I mean, I think the Lions have some amazing playmakers, but I think things are starting to change and we're going to see a shift. I mean, they got, lost David Montgomery and, not that he's, the end all be all, but that guy was an elite running back for them as far as production goes. Will they be able to replace that? I don't know. I think the Ben Johnson effect is definitely impacting them too. And we'll see if that continues to see a downward slide and some of those guys take, further steps back into the 2026 season. But rightfully so, when I look at these 4 teams, they're the ones I think of when I think of offensive playmakers.
Yeah, I think it's important to talk about the Packers a little bit here too. They only had 2 players on this list. One is Jordan Love, who we already talked about. And the other one is Micah Parsons. So I think it's going to miss a decent chunk of this year. So, while I think they do have a pretty deep team in terms of, floor of talent, they're still going to be an okay team. That elite talent really just isn't up there up north. So,
I mean, as I think of their roster, like, who would their snubs be? Maybe Josh Jacobs sneaks into the top 100, but it's none of their receivers, I don't think. Right. So I think it's fair.
One of their tight ends is
tight ends,
right?
Tucker Kraft, but also coming off an injury.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, if you ask Packer fans, Matthew Golden's going to be a wide receiver 1 top 10 in the league this year. So
Who's a free agent safety that they signed 2 years ago? He had a great first year. They thought that he was just, the second coming of Ed Reed.
Gosh.
And then he's not even on this list. McKinney? Is that the name?
Yeah, maybe.
I'm familiar.
So Xavier McKinney? Is that a name I just made up?
Yeah, no, I think that was it. This
Come
is
at
the
us,
AA,
fans. We don't
the
even
AA run.
And the lowly Vikings, I don't want to call them that. Everyone in this division was above 500 last year. Have only one player in the top 100, but they have one player in the top 10. Justin Jefferson at 8. I mean, he's a game wrecker, game changer. Don't know who your quarterback is, but when you have him as a wideout one, if it's Kyler Murray, I mean, I think he'll like to have him as a target. So you got to respect his game, but I think it kind of did make sense the way those teams are ranked. That's kind of how I would evaluate rosters. And Rob, you said the Ben Johnson effect. I'm going to come back to that in the skills rankings conversation.
All right. Well, before we move on to the top 100 for the NFL rankings, does anybody have anything else to say about the CBS ones? I have one.
Pretty decent, seemed pretty chalk. I don't necessarily always agree with everything that Pete Prisco puts out. It's kind of like the head NFL guy over at CBS, but I really don't see anything. I think having Matthew Stafford number 2 in the NFL seems maybe a little high, but he's just coming off an MVP year, so kind of good for him. But I mean, everything else, it's hard to really disagree with a lot of what he put out here.
I am just going to point out that I would have Aiden Hutchinson ranked higher than Micah Parsons. I think he's a better all-around defensive end. They were 2 spots off, 12 and 14. But I'm a huge Aiden Hutchinson fan, always have been, and hated that Jacksonville passed on him at number 1 and the fucking Lions got him at number 2. Mm-hmm. Justin, anything?
No, I'm good.
All right, let's move on to
one more for you, Rob. Hold on a second. There was a certain defensive tackle ranked number 73 here on this list.
Not deserved. He's not. I know what you're gonna say. I didn't even see it.
73 in the NFL.
I was gonna
doesn't deserve it,
that, Bob. I saw that too.
What are you
doing?
His play didn't reach the level many expected, but here he is at number 73.
Fuck Jalen. Fuck Carter. Literally, like
great PR team, huh?
I am not going to sit here and try to tell you that Gervon Dexter is better. But from a stats perspective, he actually had more pressures, more sacks. Fuck. Why is this guy getting so much credit? I can't stand it. He had really, really good playoff series and a Super Bowl win. Other than that, he's looked mediocre for a top 10 pick.
If Gervon Dexter looks good in this next Super Bowl, I'm sure he'll get recognized.
Maybe. I don't even care about Dexter anymore.
And we'll be very
I'm just anti Jalen Carter. Not deserved.
We'll see where he ends up on the NFL top 100 because that's voted on by players.
Yeah, that is voted on by players.
That was a segue.
That was a good segue. All right, so the NFL top 100, Justin already said it is voted on by players. It is, they literally pick 20 players. They don't go, through the names. They pick a ballot of 20 players that they just randomly think of and they want to put it down. That's a lot of players, right? That's over 1,600 players in the league. And it's voluntary, but it's done towards the end of last season. So it's like, that's still fresh in their minds. And it's not like a projection of what they expect to happen in 2026. It's based off of what happened in 2025. They are right now. I don't think anything has been released since I looked at this an hour ago. 100 through 87. Okay, which is a weird way to stop. I would have thought they'd get to 85 unless maybe they are trickling it out throughout the night. I'm not sure. But the Chicago Bears already have one name on there. We kind of teased it at the hook. A guy that wasn't on the CBS top 100 and a guy who I think is undervalued and actually had a really good efficiency year last year. Just not a difference maker in the regards of a guy like Micah Parsons or Aiden Hutchinson or Trey Hendrickson, but it's Montez Sweat. And I think it's deserved.
Well,
91.
And you kind of said it. I mean, if the players are the ones voting, they see the stuff that we don't see. They see the stuff that's not on stat sheets. They know the type of preparation and schematics they have to put in place to try to, contain a guy or something like that. And, Montez Sweat made some good plays. Like his numbers weren't bad, but I think he made a bit bigger impact than even some of those stats might have shown. And so that got recognized. 91, I mean, top 100. Hey, that's great. The question I would then have is how many more we might have. But Bob, what do you think about the Sweat coming in at 91?
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating to me because this list is voted on by players. I think you get a little bit more of an insight out of what the league really truly thinks of these players. Montez Sweat is a good player who had a good year, and coming in 91, you kind of do the math. That would mean like you put him on any average roster, and he's a top 3 player on that roster. So I guess that seems like just the way we've been talking about our defensive line here in Chicago all offseason seems a little high, but he's a good player who had a good year. Again, voting on the player, Justin, you kind of touched on a little bit. Like, I think what that really speaks to is how hard it must be for these other teams to keep him from making plays when he's not making plays, right? We get on him because he's not making enough plays. But I think what this ranking is telling you is that the other team is, really like they know he's the guy that they got to stop, and they have a hard time doing it.
Yeah. What about players who we think are going to make it on the list that aren't announced yet? I mean, I off the top of my head, I do think the Lions already have 2. You had mentioned Jack Campbell, and I think he snuck in at 87 already. So it's either 88 or 87. I'm just curious to see who you think deserves to be in the top 100. I have one name who I will guarantee is going to be on the top 100 and was also on the CBS 100. Well, I'm just going to be curious to see where he ranks amongst the other players at that position overall.
Was it the one you went a little nutso over in the first round with
No, it's Caleb Williams.
Oh, well, no, I was going to go Tooney and just say he'll be top 50 when it's player vote, I think.
100%.
Wow.
I think he'll be top 30.
Tooney's really interesting because the one name you brought up on that other list was Quentin Nelson. Quentin Nelson's number 99 on this list. So, I mean,
it might go skill player heavy.
They might go skill player heavy. They might go highlight heavy. They might do what they want. But, I mean, that's what's very interesting to me about the Caleb Williams player ranking. How much I think that he's a guy who gets a lot of respect from other players because the players in the league know how difficult it is to do some of the things, those highlight things that he does. So,
when you hear players on these various podcasts talking about Caleb Williams highlights and what he was doing, and then you got the Madden cover. I mean, not that those two things go together completely, but I think he could come in quite high. Now, that being said, 70 on the CBS ranking. If we get too far, I don't know, maybe he got snubbed. But I think just he made enough plays that were impact plays, game-changing plays. That'll get him hopefully top 50.
So, I mean, those are the two obvious, Tooney and Williams, right? Colston Loveland made the CBS list, so Colston Loveland to make this list. Is there anybody else that, I mean, Darnell Wright, all-pro last year. Are we expecting him to maybe make an appearance?
If you're telling me Quentin Nelson is 99 and they had Quentin Nelson in the top 50 on CBS, I'm thinking he's not going to sneak in. There's too many other offensive tackles that I think get more respect from a name standpoint among the league. Not that I think Quentin Nelson is bad. I think he's a top 10 right tackle. I just don't think he's got the name recognition yet.
Rob, when you said the players basically get a card and just write down 20 names, like if you think about it, how you said it earlier, Bob, if they were like, I'm going to pick the number 1 player on the top 20 teams, you might pick 15 quarterbacks, a receiver, and 2 running backs or something like that. But maybe if you're a guard, you're picking all the guards, all the linemen.
Right, if you're a defensive tackle, you're picking all the guards you're playing against.
So it seems like it's a weird way that they do it. So who knows what the results will come out as.
Yeah. But it's a fun exercise. I'm glad the NFL does it. I think it's, great for content. And it's just interesting to see how it all shakes out.
Yeah, it's perfect that they release it over the summer because it gives us something to talk about. It gives them obviously things to do for their clicks, and the fact that they slow leak it too. I mean, we'll be talking about this again in a couple weeks.
That's right.
Great marketing.
I guess. Okay, before we move on, though, segue. Do you think that which team in the NFC North is going to have the most players? Is it going to follow suit? And it's going to be the Lions. Do you think the Bears can beat both the Packers and the Vikings again? Is JJ McCarthy making the list?
Let's see.
Diana Rossini likes him.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to the Lions again. I mean, we already saw Jack Campbell on this list, so if he's going to make it, Gibbs, St. Brown, Hutchinson are absolute locks. I'd be curious to see, the Jared Goff, the players appreciate just his steady productivity the way, Pete Prisco did. That'll be interesting to see. But Penny Sewell, the Lions are still stacked.
Agreed. I think that's obvious, but the question of will the Bears compare to Vikings and Packers? I mean, I think we answered that in our other segment, and it wasn't just to throw shade at those teams. Not as many names do come to mind with that star power. So I would expect Detroit to be the cream of the crop and the Bears to come in right under that.
I'm right there with you. All right, it's the time. Now I ruined the segue. You started it and I cut you off.
Right.
We are announcing right now the Tally brand winner from our giveaway. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Drum roll, please. I need sound effects. Where's my little button? All right. Winner, chicken dinner. Congratulations to, and I'm going to give you two names because it's two different ones, but it's Reed34 on YouTube or Rye_Reed34 on Twitter/X. Okay. We will be reaching out to you. I already talked to the other Rob 2.0, because he's not on the show, so I can call him that this time, from Tally Brand, and we're going to get you that phone case. We'll figure out which one you want, and if for some reason that phone case doesn't work, then maybe we can swap that out with a hat. So congratulations. I love the fact that you got Walter Payton's number in there. I'm assuming that's what the 34 is standing for, so...
Yeah, and congratulations, Ryrie, but also thanks to everybody who's just supported the channel over the years, everyone who entered this contest and kind of helped out, just kind of lift the channel up. So it's much appreciated, and there will be more giveaways in the future as well. So just stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already, so you don't miss any of them. But we thank everyone for the support.
Yeah, and this probably won't be the last Tally brand thing that we give away. Guys, these things are absolutely amazing. The quality is fantastic. I wear it constantly, almost every single day. I wear it to the office and just do my hair at the bathroom there. So, guys, it's amazing. I mean, look at the quality, the stitching. It fits great. It's fantastic. All right. Speaking of fantastic, how about the offensive weapons of the Chicago Bears? Guys, they were a top 10 offense last year. We think already kind of said we think that they're going to be a top 5 offense this year, going into year 2 under Ben Johnson. Bill Barnwell did his rankings. Justin, correct me if I'm wrong. I think you were telling me pre-show, but he does take into account, injury history. He's trying to do projections for 2026. It's not just what they've done for you lately. It's what he thinks you're going to do for you in the future.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was going to kind of give it away. So I guess we're going to give away where they are ranked here in a second, but we want to know from you in the comment section, is this too low, too high, or just right?
Yeah. So just to be clear, it's not projecting too far into the future. It's only the 2026 season, which I think that does kind of hurt the Chicago Bears because we're excited not just for 2026, but 2027 and beyond with some of these players. He said injuries do come in consideration. He weighted wide receiver more heavily than running backs and tight ends and is looking at your elite players and top 5 contributors. So I said I wanted to talk about the Ben Johnson effect in this, but do you want to first say where the Bears ranked or...
Yeah, I mean, look, they're pretty much right stuck in the middle at 15. I mean, I don't think that's bad. I don't think that's good. I'll give you my opinion in a little bit, but go ahead.
Okay, so you said they were a top 10 offense, and weapons are now ranked 15. Well, you lost DJ Moore, obviously. That's going to hurt you, especially if wide receiver is counted more heavily in his formula. But with the Ben Johnson effect, I mean, he did kind of say... and Bob, you'll be probably clapping when I say this, that DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai are good players that benefited from running behind a good offensive line and a good scheme. Just to rank them as weapons, though, you would not put them as high as higher quality running backs who maybe are running behind not as good of an offensive line. So I think in this case, Ben Johnson might actually be deflating his weapons because the scheme is getting more of the credit. But we've talked about that on this show a little bit. And Bob, I guess I'll throw it to you. You kind of already argued that on the show in the past.
Yeah, so I definitely argue that Swift and Monangai are just good, solid NFL running backs who happen to be running behind a very good offensive line in an elite offensive system. And so that's not really where I take issue with his valuation here. I do think 15 is a little low. Like, this is a top 10 offense already. And yes, there is an elite scheme. Yes, there is a very talented quarterback. But I just don't think you can be top 10 without top 10 weapons, I guess. I don't know. I feel like on this channel, I'm always the one saying, hey, you got to prove it to me. You got to show it. I'm the one who always trying not to have the bear goggles on. But 15, guys, it just seems very, very low. Like, some of these teams that are ranked ahead, the New Orleans Saints, yes, Chris Olave might be right now considered better than anybody, but there's no doubt in my mind that Luther Burden is going to jump past Chris Olave. Chris Olave is a very good receiver. He's kind of one-dimensional. That might be selling him a little short. I think he runs some routes a little bit better than that, but like, Luther Burden's the real deal, and they don't have anything that compares to Colson Loveland, right? The New York Jets, Garrett Wilson is a fabulous receiver. He's got all the route running that maybe Chris Olave doesn't, right? But who else is on the team? Breece Hall, I guess he just likes Breece Hall that much better than DeAndre Swift. I actually don't. I think Breece Hall and DeAndre Swift are pretty comparable. You like Breece Hall? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I wanted him in the offseason.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah. And then the one that I just really don't understand is the New England Patriots at 10.
What is that? You trade for A.J. Brown and you're automatically a top 10? Come on.
Travion Henderson, I mean, he made some big plays. I guess it's just, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. So I guess, this is just Bill Barnwell saying, hey, you got to prove it. Set a year. Like, this would not surprise me if the Bears make a huge jump, from 15 to well up in the top 10 next season. I mean, they went from 25 to 15 from last year to this year. So is 15 to 5, impossible?
Well, I just don't want to skip past a name you just said. Travion Henderson was a guy we were mocking to the Bears. We wanted them to somehow find a way to get him. Now, you wouldn't have Luther Burden if you had him, but if you put him in this offense with this offensive line, he's more of that Jahmyr Gibbs type.
I'm certainly not saying that Travion Henderson isn't a good player. He's a phenomenal player, but we took Luther Burden to pick after him. So why is Travion Henderson lifting up the Patriots when Luther Burden gets almost no credit for the way he dominated towards the end of last season? So it's just, I don't know. Oh, we didn't even mention Rome Odunze, another top 10 wide receiver pick, right? And the one team that I really is crazy ranked is when you're talking about Rome Odunze is the Arizona Cardinals at number 6. And they with Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison was drafted, I think, 4 slots ahead of Rome Odunze, 3 or 4 slots ahead of Rome Odunze.
I think he went 4th.
Maybe 5 slots. Marvin Harrison had 600 receiving yards last year. 600 receiving yards in 12 games. And you leading off with him as the best weapon, and then, they love Jeremiah Love. I love Jeremiah Love. I wish he would have been on the Bears too. It's not a slight against Jeremiah Love. It's just, what are we ranking here if the Arizona Cardinals weapons are 6th in the NFL? Even if the Bears were 7th, I'd be saying, why are the Arizona Cardinals ranked above the Bears? It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense there.
It gets the people going. I guess that's what
me going. I don't get going.
I have 2 other teams that I have issues with, and one of them's in front of them, and that's the San Francisco 49ers. I love Christian McCaffrey, but you literally said he's putting more weight on receivers than running backs and tight ends. Who else do they have? George Kittle hasn't finished a season in 2 years. Look, I mean, he's coming off a similar injury to Micah Parsons. We literally watched them race their little carts at the Pro Bowl or the Super Bowl, whatever it was. I don't understand. You don't. Christian Kirk, does he do something for you? Look, I love Dazon Stribling, right? That was a guy that we talked about in pre-draft. Is he moving that ranking up? Juwan Jennings, he had 1 good year. No one even knows what Brandon Ayuk is going to be. That guy is just going to be walking the streets with Chase Claypool or something at the end of this during the season. Nothing screams anything to me. I mean, as Ricky Pearsall was okay. Nothing screams anything to me outside of Christian McCaffrey. I don't get them at 5.
Do they just assume that under Shanahan it will all click? But then again, that's not what this is evaluating.
Why not Ben Johnson?
Right. It's not what this was supposed to be evaluating. So I agree with you. I just can't get to that energy level.
So my next one is the Philadelphia Eagles. Look, you got rid of A.J. Brown. Is Devonta Smith the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL? No. What else do you have? Hollywood Brown? Like, that's who you brought in? Mekhi Lemon? Like, you drafted him. I get it. But, like, he's a rookie. You're going to trust him over a guy who proved himself already as a second year, going into his second year, or a guy going into his third year? Like, I'm sorry. I have a problem with that.
Saquon Barkley.
Yes. That's the thing.
I forgot about Barkley.
When he says he weights receivers more, to have an elite running back still matters. And that could go for McCaffrey, too, although he hasn't always been healthy. So...
And maybe he gives those receiving guys a little bit more, right? Like guys who can do more than just be a running back. I can kind of see that. And look, I'm not saying the Bears should be ahead of the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not saying the Bears should be ahead. I do think they should be ahead of the 49ers. My biggest issue is like just where they're slotted.
Well, I was going to bring up the Vikings, but their receiving core, especially when you start with Justin Jefferson, you got Jordan Addison, and then they signed, who was it? Jennings, right? Jawan Jennings. So that 1, 2, 3 at the receiving position is pretty formidable.
Yeah, and then TJ Hawkinson, and yeah, I mean, it's hard to, whenever you're starting with Justin Jefferson, you got a pretty good leg up on any weapons list. Like that's fine.
Fair enough.
That's fine.
This doesn't lead to W's on the field, so I can't wait till later when the results start coming in.
Yeah, and that's all that matters.
To kind of complete the conversation, they do have the Detroit Lions, number 1 in the league in weapons, so it's kind of a common theme what we're talking about here. The Detroit Lions are pretty talented. They are going to be tough this year, despite their kind of tough record last year. And to kind of reiterate that conversation again, it wouldn't be shocking if the Bears have a Lions-like season this year, in that they're good, they're competitive, they have talent, but at the end of the day, it's 9 wins somehow, and that doesn't mean that next year they won't, explode again. Like no one's counting the Lions out just because they had a rough year last year.
Yeah, I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL and one of the most consistent wide receivers in the NFL. Like Justin Jefferson finished the year with 2 touchdowns last year. That's not going to happen, I don't think, in 2026 unless JJ McCarthy is continuing to throw the football. Amon-Ra St. Brown, like it doesn't matter who's throwing the ball, it seems like to him. I mean, I know, obviously Goff was there the whole year, but like he's just consistent. He can do everything. He's like, honestly, what I think Luther Burden can become.
Well, and a little more explosive Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Let's hope. But you also have to look at Jahmyr Gibbs. He's that everything type of back. He can break the big play at any moment, break open a game. So just having those two is like puts you way up there.
Yeah.
I mean, the way we're talking, and I know the Lions finished the NFC North in the last. They were last place. Like, I don't think that's happening again this year. Like, I think that was a fluke.
And they get a last place schedule for their trouble.
That's right.
Don't get me started on that. But Bob did power rankings last year. Something to look forward for next year. But going into the season, at least as of today, July 1st, I probably would have Detroit number 1 in the NFC North. Bears 2, though.
I think you got to start. I mean, whatever. I don't tip my hand, but I don't necessarily know if that will be my ranking. Well,
division champ, you're 1.
I think you start where you left off.
Right.
Not entirely. I do think there are nuances to it, but I think the Bears.
I like your thinking. We had a Freaky Friday happen today or something. I became the.
No, again, I'm not predicting just because they start number 1 means they're finished number 1. But I think when you're putting these rankings together and you
tip your hat,
create the narratives or whatever, like it just starts with the reigning champ on top. That's just fair. You earned it.
You twisted my arm. All right, Bears number 1. I'm back with the goggles on.
I guess one more point about these weapons. We talked everyone else the NFC North. Lions won. The Vikings ended up being 8th. Bears 15th. Packers 17th. So still kind of right there, not bottom of the barrel, but kind of right there somehow. because Jordan Love doesn't count as a weapon. So Josh Jacobs is a fine running back, and the wide receivers are unproven and tight ends are hurt. So 17th in the league. Good for them. Fuck the Packers.
Always. Fuck Green Bay. I should have picked that head, actually, now that I think about it. I might have to buy it. All right. Guys, this was fun. I'm glad we could actually talk some football and not stupid stadium stuff. And it's just good to be, out there. I hope everyone has a great 4th of July. We will have some more content come out. I got vacations planned. You guys got some stuff planned. So it'll be kind of a little bit of a hit and miss type of thing going over the next few weeks. But we are here for the long haul, and we will definitely be back in the thick of it, start for the season and when training camp hits. So please stick around. Please hit that subscribe button. Go to that comment section. It helps the algorithm. So please help that out as well. I got nothing else. You guys got anything?
Remember to comment on who you think's coming in the top 100 next. And especially if you're watching this video early in the morning, just type anything, write any comment. Those early comments in the day really, really help the channel out, really help the video go. So anything you can do to help would be appreciated.
Definitely. Until next time, guys, bear down, claws up.